Yes, sir. I want to thank y'all for tapping in to the Man Cave. Tonight we got the one and only Fly Guy Crow and the newest addition to the team, Miss Mercedes Cherry. You know, we just go get straight through it. We got a quick little recap. You know, Goons told Finesse 2 times that he had to check in when he come to that city. Me personally, I ain't checking in with nobody. I like to know what y'all think about that, man.
I would network with people, but as far as checking in, I'm not checking in with a motherfucker. I don't move like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I network with people, that's fine. But that extortion, you want me to pay you money for security to move around your city? Nah, bro, this United States. This the land of freedom. I'm gonna move around how I move around.
Yeah, facts. You know, I agree with you because it's like, you know, I'm not coming to nobody's town and feel like that person has the power to make me check in. For me to check in, I'd be submitting my manhood to another man. You know, um, that's just something I can't see happening, man. I just don't understand that. Now, I agree. If we do business together or something like that, you know, that's me linking up with you because of our personal relationship. Um, Anything outside of that, it just don't make sense to why I would have to call you and say, "Hey, man, how you doing? I'm in your city," you know, or do you have a problem with me being in your city? Like, I don't know, you know. I feel like that's a little, you know, you might as well call a nigga daddy. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Miss Cherry? Because I'm not gonna do it.
Nah.
You know,
Like I said, I don't mind networking and all that, but nah, I'm not doing that, bro.
Yeah, ain't no extortion going on here. I might look sweet, but the only thing sweet is the last name. Just clock that. Like, yeah, just look like but heavy though. Like, I know somebody in your own city. Like, my network stretch. Like, so yeah, you end up don't like you ain't safe either.
yeah.
So I just don't feel like I feel like the networking part, like, check in, even like even to a certain extent, like paying for the people to get security. But you ain't gonna make me do it.
I'm not
That's
even.
that's
Hey, look,
the
I don't even feel comfortable paying somebody else from another town to do my security.
no, and
I'm
that's
gonna
the
bring my
and
security
if
with
you
me.
think about it, that's what takeoff did, and that should be an example of why you don't do that.
You know,
Absolutely
you go
not.
out of town and pay somebody for security, and you know they the wrong kind of people, and they see you
Yeah,
get a
and they
bag. They
drama
be
end up adding to you, or
no
they really ain't on that for real.
no
Like,
the
no,
security see you get a bag and then got them hit their homeboy like, yo, we gonna be here, run up. You know, I don't trust people like that. I bring people I trust. You know, because
Facts.
that's why I say I'm not doing no checking in, because I'm pretty confident me and the guys I be with, we can handle any situation. So I'm not
I mean,
checking in.
I feel like that. I feel like that. When if I'm just going on vacation or something like, but
If
if
I'm
I'm going to like perform or network or something like that, I'm definitely gonna check in. But if it's something like I'm just going to go sightsee, yeah, I'm blending in with the tourists. That's what you need to know I'm here for.
Hey, look, when I go on vacation, Tony go on vacation with me. You know what I mean? Me and Tony go handle whatever. You better have you a Tony. Tony stay with me. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I don't want to say who Tony is, but you know everybody know who Tony is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shit, catch me in the right mood. I might have Tony and his twin brother with me.
I was gonna say, if you can't read between the lines and figure out who Tony's is, then
Yeah,
at this point,
you know what I mean. So I ain't worried. I know my God got me, and if I get in a situation that God don't bring me through it, then I wouldn't meant to come through it. I ain't gonna question that, you know. But I ain't checking in, you know. I'm telling you right now, you heard it first. I ain't checking in, you
But
know.
why you think this only happened with the black community and maybe some Latino communities too?
I wouldn't even say it's only the black community, because when you look at it, like the white community, you know, they are people. You know, when you look at it like this, that started back in the days of the mob. You know, when you come other crime families or things like that come into other places, they I wouldn't say they had to check in, but they came and paid homage to who was running shit. But that's the difference between artists, a person, a brand. You know, if Pepsi decide to move to Petersburg and open up a shop, they don't got to check in with Pepsi to see if it's okay for them to open up the shop. So if I'm coming there to do business, now if I'm on some criminal type shit and I come in and I'm trying to take over or I'm trying to make some money on your grounds and it's drug related, crime related, whatever illegal situation, I understand somebody saying, yeah, you stepping on my toes. But if somebody paid me to come to your town and perform, what I need to check in with you for? If anybody needs to check in, it's the person who paid me. But I'm not gonna do it. I don't care how nobody feel. They could say the man cave need to be in Memphis at club what the hell ever, and I come. You know, leave me alone. Let me come do what I'm come to do for. You know, because I'm a grown man like you a grown man. I'm not doing the check in thing, and I'm not doing the bow down thing. That's why
But
I'm
you
at with it.
basically you going into their territory to get money that they could be making themselves.
Ain't my fault that you ain't up on business like you supposed to be up on business. If you was up on business like you was supposed to be up on business, you would have get booked for the show and not me.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like I can't take the blame for that. You know, that's like um okay, Power 540. You know, we on 8 different syndicated stations in 8 states. What radio station did we pull up on to say, hey, is it okay if we do a show on the radio station that's close to you? Hell no. We the radio bullies. We doing what the hell we do. You know? And that aspect goes on through life. Like each person move how they move. Them same people in those towns, talking about somebody need to check in with them. If they traveling and going to another state or wherever they going and they checking in with somebody, you know, maybe they not as hard as they put on. You know, I don't know. I just don't see no logical explanation why one man need to go to another state and check in with another man to come. Like, you know, make it make sense. 1 plus 1 don't equal 2 on there.
It seems like it just happened to the rappers. Cause somebody like a Beyonce, she can go anywhere.
Well, I guarantee you when Beyonce traveling, Beyonce got that security. She got that security. That's just like, okay, Puffy. Puffy came here. You know, a couple guys act like they wanted to get at him. Shit ain't go the way they wanted to. I think people tried to get at finesse here. I don't think things went the way they wanted to. You know, ain't nobody get hurt, but it didn't go the way they planned on. You know, so it's like if I mean, you know, I don't want to talk about nobody and their situation or how it is, but the rappers, because it do happen to rappers a lot. Rappers seem to be an easy target. You know, but the ones that get caught without security, they tend to be the ones that's not around no more. They didn't either quit rapping, fell back, left the life alone, went gospel, or they did. That's just the real reality of it. And you got people like B&B Rock and Nipsey Hussle, who was just fucked up situations out of that situations like that, because they with the guys on the social media playing the tough guy and doing shit like that. In my eyes, they was actually good guys, regardless what they were dealing with or involved in behind the scenes. You know, you when I talk about the guys on social media, I'm talking about the ones always on there with guns, always talking that shit, and you draw that kind of energy back in return. You know,
Yeah.
um,
It's like young Dolph situation. He had his brother with him, which one is his security, but those other guys was plotting his whole move. They knew he'd go every year to a turkey drive. They know he'd go give back to kids going back to school. They already knew all this shit.
yeah, but I know Dolph had security. That was just a situation where he got caught with his brother. When you in your town and you making that kind of money, most people, well, me, if I come up, and I'm sitting on 20, 30 million, and I'm traveling around town knowing how my town is, I'm going to have security. That's just a common sense thing. It's cool to stay at home. It's cool to, do for home. But it ain't cool for you to be dumb. You got to have some kind of security. I can't sit here and say, me and my brother go be enough to handle any situation, because if it's me and my brother and 20 people roll up on us, one, that the math not mathing. If you got your security and you and your brother, y'all might can make it out that situation, whatever, whatever, but you can't just be out there lacking by yourself. And Dolph was too big, like, to be anywhere in the world without security. So I'm just saying.
Especially in his hometown.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, you find your biggest haters and everybody in your hometown. It goes. What you think about going to somebody's town and checking in, man?
He just started
I'm
laughing.
like, I'm like,
Check in.
hey, Ghost.
What's up? What's up? Man, checking in definitely is not on the radar in my vocabulary. You
Oh,
feel me? Like, that's not gonna happen. Checking in is not gonna happen. But if anyone that have to check in, or I'm gonna say supposed to check in out of respect for loyalty of the situation that you put yourself in, you know, I respect you do what you gotta do.
yeah.
But me
I
personally,
see
my
gang. I,
feelings,
I understand gang members going to different town and checking in with other gang members.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm in town, man, pull up, I got a show, whatever, woo woo woo, especially if it's an artist. That's understandable.
But if
But now
you're a rapper,
you
if you're a
checking
rapper,
into an unknown.
yeah, okay, we talking about finesse two times and the people pressing him saying they had to check. I mean, he
I
had to
mean,
check in.
all right, look, I'm gonna say this though. Yeah, all right, that's 2 times. I saw that. I literally just saw that about probably like an hour ago, right? Yeah. One thing about his situation is he done fucked up so much that nigga gonna check him in that type of manner just to call his bluff. Because now you got a gangster rapper that's letting the child, you know what I'm saying, arguing with a child, no, even having a debate with a child, that's one problem number one. You know what I'm saying? Most people that disrespect your, you know what I'm saying, your mother or not gonna take care of it. Whatever the however that's going, that shit is too public. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're dealing with your mother speaking words. And look, man, for him, I don't know why this ain't happened earlier. Like, this should have been something. Not should have. I saw this coming a long time ago with him, to be honest. Once he started arguing with that child. So him checking him, I think he needs to check in to be safe, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, honestly, why? Because he argued with a child. He took the little boy under his wing, doing everything for him, put him in a situation to make money, doing this, and whatever happened behind it. I'm not sure everything that happened behind it. You might be able to
Right.
fill me in on a little bit more, but it wouldn't know. He wasn't abusing the boy. He wasn't touching the
Nah,
boy.
I ain't saying nothing
No,
like.
check me out, check me out, check me out,
I,
check me out, check me out.
I,
I'm saying, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing violating the little boy, and whatever happened with the little boy's parents or whatever that causing them to have the fallout, that's the reason for the argument. I don't think that's enough of a reason for him to have to check in, because I'm looking at it like this: if right now, if I go to the store and somebody's motherfucking kid do something crazy, say something crazy, I don't give a fuck. If you stand there and not go check your child, I'm gonna check the fuck out the little boy. Then I'm gonna check the parent. Like, you don't let your kids go out here and do this, this, this. I don't know if that's the same scenario. That's me. If my mom, one thing about me, I'm a parent. If my kids
I
disrespect
agree.
somebody, I'm gonna fuck them up. So I'll be damned if I'm gonna let somebody kid disrespect me.
Nah, I agree. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, as a man, you gonna say what you say and stand on it. You ain't gonna repeat yourself. You ain't gonna go back and forth with a debate with it. You ain't gonna do none of them topics. You gonna stand on your business.
I'm gonna stand on it
With,
after I
with the
say,
kid,
and
with the
I'm saying,
kid
hey,
and the
look,
parents.
I'm saying this live on the
That's not
air.
what he did though.
I'm gonna say this live on the air because I mean, I'm not him. I might look at things a little different. After I check that child, if that parent stand there and don't say nothing, and this little motherfucker say something back or try and get aggressive like they do now, I'm gonna slap the shit out that little motherfucker. You know what I mean?
But you ain't arguing.
No, but point being, people gonna have something to say about it. You know what I mean? So what would they rather have? You arguing or slapping the shit out of them? So regardless, if if the kid wrong, because I heard it was, I mean, I might not be correct, but I heard it was a lot of disrespect coming from the parents end and the kids end. So if I created a place for you to get money, and pretty much now you ain't got your platform, and the parent is, oh, fuck you, we don't need you no more, or whatever it is, and you're being disrespectful. Respect gets respect. Disrespect gets disrespect. People match energy.
He treated that little boy like he was on the grown man level.
He did. Now I ain't agreeing with the things that he was doing. He had the little boy all up in the strip club and all that shit. I don't agree with none of that. I don't
I
agree.
mean,
I don't agree with none of that. I'm talking about
man,
when
I'm
all the
just saying
things.
I ain't pinpointing one specific situation with it. I'm saying with everything that he's been going through that's public, you know what I'm saying? It ain't been on no grown man gangster shit. It's just been like I don't know how to describe it. It's not something that I would do as a man. That's just me.
It's nothing
You
that
know
I
what I'm
would.
saying? On no level, having a kid out there, you know what I'm saying? Inside the strip club, exploited like that, at that age too? Nah, man. But that's just one thing.
My
We got
thing is
everything
this.
that's going through, but he, shout out to him because his baby mother did this past, a rest peace to his baby mother, but I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know, man. I still,
It's not even his
I don't
kid.
respect the check-in. That's the whole subject of it.
Hey,
So,
but
nah,
ain't it
I
not?
don't respect the check-in.
Ain't it not even his kid? The little boy not even his kid.
No, not that little boy. Nah.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the fact that anybody, like whoever it is causing like whatever with the argument and the things going back and forth, it's like, the little boy was in probably about 20, 30 strip clubs. And the fact, if the parent had a problem with it, which I'm not saying I agree with this, because mine wouldn't have been in there the first time. But the parent should have stopped this shit after the first time. Not let it happen the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever, whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? They ain't nip that shit in the bud from the beginning. So coming out and starting and going back and forth on social media only, in my eyes, make them look like a fucked up parent and a fool at the same time. What y'all think about that? Oh, no thoughts? No, nothing. Y'all agree? You know,
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
you know. Y'all catch into that good old football today?
Yeah, I think the Saints lost. The Saints won today, 26-14, I believe.
Redskins 17-10.
See them Eagles took a slug, man. What y'all think about that?
Dang.
And the Redskins is 20-10, 3:25 left in the fourth.
Oh yeah, I ain't catch that one.
Yeah,
Who they playing?
the Redskins playing the Chargers right now. But
No.
I'm happy about them Eagles taking a slug. You know, because that just make us one game closer to them with us having a win today. And now, me personally, I need the Commanders to lose because that'll put us technically above them in the division. They'll be 3-2. We 2-1.
Oh, hey, something. I mean,
You know, what y'all think about Trump and what he got going on, man?
Um, it's a lot to talk about when we come to these politics and Trump ass. But like I say, him going into these cities. What do you think about that?
That's what I'm talking about, man.
You think these cities needed that? Some of these major cities.
No, no, I don't. I think everything that they're doing is wrong. I think they're going about it wrong. I think they're handling it wrong. And I think that everything that Trump is doing right now is a mockery of everything that the United States was built on. You know,
As a person that is experiencing that happening in their area, I want to speak on it. Um, the military is the military. The police is the police. A civilian, a citizen, they are not even called the same thing when the police are interacting with them, because when the police are interacting with a regular person, they're called a civilian. When the military is interacting with somebody, they're called an insurgent. They don't even have they're not even categorized as humans when the military interact with them. Military are trained to kill. If we think that the police does not have the proper training to interact with people, why would you think that the military, which is literally taught to kill, in their training, and it's nothing against them because my father is a military guy. It's nothing against them. It's not in their training. So
technically,
and then it's like even with in our dynamic where our chief of police when they asked her what was like the order of basically what was the chain of commands now, she was looking like, what do you mean chain of commands? When it comes down to politics in the Washington D.C. area, our Mayor Browser, I'm gonna say it on the air, I don't care. Mayor Browser, she goes where the money is. She is one of the main reasons why gentrification is huge as it is. She for the first 2 days, literally majority of the time frame that we were dealing with this stuff, she's been out on vacation with her family. So it's like she does not care about the people that live in this area. She only cares about the people that live in this area. Period.
Right.
So
Right.
it is what it is.
Okay.
So it's like at the end of the day, the fact that Chocolate City is not Chocolate City because in her term, Chocolate City has only not become Chocolate City since she's been here. She has done so many things like New DC that we had all these protests for and all this stuff about. Now she's reintroducing it with a different bill. She faked like she didn't want Trump to do this. She's with all of this, okay? All of it. And it is not affecting us. So they're putting them at the National Mall. The National Mall don't get no crime. The places that they're putting them in white people's community, I'm gonna just say it, the places that they're putting, white people don't get crime in those areas. So why are you having them walking around the National Mall? Oh, so that you don't get, when you lock people up, you don't ever lock up people that are white. You understand what I'm saying? So the numbers are always going to end up being predominantly black. Oh yeah, because you're literally swirling around our neighborhoods every 35 seconds with armed police officers walking around with AKs. Of course, y'all are not interacting with them like the same way that y'all are with us. So, like, it's a lot, even down to the fact that with us, like, the government shut down. Like, the government really shuts down here. Like, we don't have no state. So it's like trash is not about to be picked up. Stuff is not about to happen here. When other states and other places, when they don't when they don't agree on stuff, it definitely affects Washington D.C. like immediately. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like I really, really want people to consider when they're voting, like what they're voting on and how they vote, because it affects people in different ways. And politics is literally everything that we have here. I know it sounds crazy, but we are living in Trump City right now. And it is 15,000 more times worse and scarier than it was before. Trust and believe that. 9 times out of 10, you ain't see wasn't no YN walking around the street with no guns like the military, okay? Trust and believe. They're putting us in way more danger.
Tell me this. They were claiming that they were doing it with the military and all that to get the illegal immigrants and all that. But from what I heard, they're focusing more on the homeless.
Yes, they are literally picking up our homeless people, all their stuff, taking it and putting it in a dumpster. Coming by with water hoses and just spraying them while they sleep, dragging them out, like real deal, dragging them in the tent with them in it, as well as even in the even ICE is coming and raiding churches, people in church.
Damn, it sounds like the 50s and 60s.
That's what I was going to say.
Like real deal, huge. It was like four or five churches in these. I work in like one of my night job is at a warehouse, and it was like 4 or 5 like churches in like the surrounding warehouses around my job. They're gone.
Hey, yo,
they're gone.
I agree with Pro. That sound like about like the 50s and 60s, like when they was beating people up in Watts and all that. Now, I said a while ago that this is when things were segregated, how they treated us back in the day. They doing that to the Mexicans, the Hispanics, and foreigners now, and it's like people are letting it slide. Our community I'm gonna say it, our community letting it slide because it ain't enough of us speaking up about it. Everybody letting it slide. And it's like, hold on, let me finish. When it's over and they done messing with them people, look, when they done and it's over messing with them people, if Trump's still in the office, guess who we coming after next? Us. More people need to speak up and stop this shit. You can go ahead, Miss Shirt.
We always are the target. So it ain't it's never not gonna be us until the fact that we become.
We're not the target. We're not the target right now.
We are always the target.
We're not the target right now. Right now, their focus is on them.
Remember,
we are always the target. Because it's their turn to understand what it's like, but that's the difference. People have pandered to them, and I'm gonna keep it 100. Coming from somebody that's Dominican, Black, and Puerto Rican, let's keep it 100. Hispanic people do not like Black people.
I already know this.
Never have.
A lot of them don't.
Never have.
But guess what? Guess what?
We rather. Oh wait. We rather tell y'all, even with their skin color. My parents, even with their skin color, walking around, I ain't Black, not at all. I'm Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm El Salvadorian, I'm da 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 da. Why? Because they want to separate themselves from blackness, regardless of the fact that when they go to their country, they are considered black the same way that we are.
They
So
can
it's like at the
separate it.
end of the day, coming from somebody, wait, coming from somebody that is literally born in that culture, raised in that culture. The only time that I ever felt like a black person was moving to Washington, D.C. I am from Florida, which is extremely multicultural. Literally, everybody is mixed. My son is literally black, white, Cuban, Colombian, Dominican, black, and Puerto Rican. Like, two parents mixed with so much mixed together, and now we got a baby that literally is mixed with everything. But it's like, in the same breath, my family has been telling me to be with a white man to lighten my skin, to lighten, to better the family. And it's not better it because it's gonna be financially stable more, because that's no change. It's the color. Like, a lot of Hispanic people are colorists, and they're not gonna say it to you. They're not going to do it. Even if they do make you feel uncomfortable, they're not going to do it to the extent of what they do to, or what they say to me in front of you. They're not going to do it. And as a black man, Hispanic women are taught to target y'all. Because, to be honest with y'all, because of y'all are blinded by y'all preference of being with them. That you don't understand that a lot of Hispanic women were taught how to be submissive, and when you really are taught how to be submissive, you use your submissiveness as a weapon. So at the end of the day, Hispanic women are coming from somebody that is literally got the blood. I'm telling you, I will cut you off quicker than anybody else. Okay, with that same blood in me, my aunties, grandma, anybody, they will cut you. We are, but it's like, the lighter my family members are, the cooler it is for them to act in that manner. As soon as me with this skin color get to acting a little hostile, it's, oh, you an angry black woman. Oh, you you don't know how to listen. You don't know how to. But it's like, I'm telling you, I was taught the same manners, the same ethics, the same weaponization of my submissiveness as my cousins. I know how to shut up. I know how to do that. But a lot of the times, black women don't shut up because they actually want y'all to, like, it ain't no, I'm just talking to just say it. A lot of the times, we want you to hold yourself accountable so that you can be better. But it's like, a lot of Hispanic women, they'll sit there, they'll fake. We can look on majority of the passport bros and all this stuff when they get them to the United States. Majority of them, once you get them here, they don't do none of the shit they said they did. Period. We are literally taught to target y'all. And just because of the fact that I'm darker, that ain't changed the same training. I got the same training.
Hey, but here you go. I think this is the part that's overlooked now. You know, the reason why I say more people need to speak up, because at the same time of everything, regardless who don't like us, who looks at us, or whose thought process is different from mine, you know, foreign or not, when you come to America, you're still people of color. So, you know, even though you say it's their time to go through it, we're still going through it. You know, that's why I say, you know, we not the target, because
You about to have me on here sounding like
they're not targeting per
a
se black.
radicalist,
Look,
okay?
they're not
Like,
targeting per se black people
I
right
think it's a
now.
cover up. They said they're gonna go after the illegals and homeless as a cover up. They
Yeah,
want to get
and
rid
when they
because
finish, then they coming after
they say
us.
we make up over half the murders. Or more, somebody say 90%, but I doubt that. It has to be around about probably 50. It might be 60-50. But they saying that black people making up most of the murder rate. And I think they use the homeless and illegal immigrants as a cover up to get rid of black folks. Because they say that the crime is high in these cities.
Hey, I feel like more people need to speak up and put an end to it. Because at the end of the day, when you look at what America's supposed to be, America supposedly all my life has been the land of the free, the land where other people in different countries who are going through dictatorships and terrorism and things like that come here for asylum. It's people where one of my close friends has been here like 15 years. You know, somebody tried to rob him and he stabbed him. They came to his house and tried to rob him and he stabbed him. Everything on camera that it was self defense. And because he didn't have his paperwork, they sent him back. You know, he been here 15 years, ain't been getting in no trouble, had his own business, you know, doing good. Things like that, I don't agree with. You know, if them people came over here, man, and they doing what they doing, they filing for paperwork, they going about it all the right steps. Why you bothering them? You know, you say you after the people who, which I guess you trying to get the gang members and the drug pushers and people like that, because that's the way you made it. Like those foreigners are the problem. Those are the ones you're going after. That's what they made it seem like. That was their excuse
Man,
for
they
doing what they
literally
doing.
are picking up
And
whole
they
churches,
after everybody.
schools, Home Depots. They are targeting them. It's not if they, like there's no possible way that you could pick up a whole church. Like I just said, 4 churches. We talking about an Asian church, uh, black immigrant church. It was like Haitians, Africans, and 2 different types of Hispanic churches. They're gone.
And then they hit up a Hyundai plant. I think it's in Atlanta. 400 workers from South Korea.
I thought it was
But
more
that's
than 400. It was basically the whole people. They brought the supervisors and everything. People that had citizenship and all that. They just literally put like just
that's what I'm saying.
gathered it all together.
That's why I said what I said, because they said they was going after a certain class of people, a certain kind of people, like the criminals, and they're actually going to these places, getting working people who has citizenships and everything, and shipping them back. And then when Donald Trump was asked about that, his response was, "Oh well, sometimes things happen." No, these things are being done on purpose. You
Damn,
know,
it's crazy.
yeah. And then it's like, you know, my next question about them is, if they've been finding all this money that so-called other presidential units that mismanage and put here and put there, where's that money going, and why haven't our dollar value rise back up yet? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
Like,
was talking about China about a couple. I want to say about a year back with that AI program that China's creating. And I think there's. I thought they was trying to save money to kind of compete with China.
yeah, but you look at all these all that. I'm talking about all that money Elon Musk was supposedly found. Where did that go? And if it went back into our treasury, I guess our natural reserve, the place that calculates our money, our dollar value would have rose back up. You got to think back in the early 90s, you know, maybe about 5, 10 years ago, let's use Mexico for 1,000, for an example. You could have went to Mexico with 10,000 American dollars and that would have been like $1 million over there. You know, right now, it's nowhere close to there. And it hasn't been nowhere close to there since, if I'm going to be totally honest, I'm going to say before Obama. It's been a long time since our dollar had the value that it should have. And if they found all that money, that would have That would have brought more value to our dollar. If I'm not mistaken, ain't are we still in debt?
$36 trillion in debt.
You know, and I know for a fact they done found more of that. They done found a whole lot more of that from what I from fucking with Elon, ain't they?
So what do you think about China, Russia, India, uh, 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 India and China alone? That's like what 3 billion people,
Yeah.
and then they got other countries like 20 of them right now that's trying to overthrow our global power or our what you say our dollar. They're
Well,
trying to weaken our dollar. You heard about that?
they can't. That's what I'm saying. They can't weaken our dollar. We've already weakened our dollar. Our government has already weakened our dollar by mismanaging money. You know what I mean? For every dollar, even though we print our own money, for every dollar we have, we're supposed to have the same amount of gold in the natural reserve.
Right.
You know, that's why they started about 10, 12 years ago with that cash for gold thing. You know, that was a government company. You know, they getting all the gold back so they can, build the motherfucking build the bullion, put it up, get our money back right. You know what I mean? But them other people, man, they can't. It's nothing that another country can do to hurt our dollar value. Our dollar value is our dollar value alone. Now, what they can do is quit trading with us. Now, the things that we was buying from those companies, if they quit countries, if they quit, sending it towards us, then we would have to outsource through somebody else, and we might end up paying more, getting lesser quality, all that type shit. But it's nothing that another country can do to hurt our money. Now, at the same time, if we're in debt to another country, and that country say, "I want my money and I want it now," we ain't doing no more business. Now, I don't know how that will go out. I'm pretty sure the United States go buck on, cause what they go do, come take it. But it's like if it's some kind of law that says that we have to pay that straight out, then I could see that being a way that another country could hurt our money. Other than that, I don't see no way. I don't care who team up against who. It ain't nothing that we could do to team up with another country to hurt China's money. China's money come, okay, even Africa. Africa, off of all their natural resources, is one of the most richest countries in the world. So how can any countries team up against Africa to change the price of their resources? You can't, because if you want them, you go pay my price. What you gonna do? Team up with every country in the world to say, nah, we don't want it, so you can offer it at a lesser price? They're not gonna do that, because if they do that, then when it comes to what resources and things that you have, you can look at them to team up against you to get your price lesser. That's why ain't nobody gonna do that. If we go to Africa for the tech, I mean to China for tech, and we go to Africa for diamonds and uranium or something like that, just saying, and we go to Saudi Arabia for oil. Saudi Arabia and Africa not gonna team up to not buy tech from China, because they don't want China and Saudi Arabia to team up not to come get whatever the resources the third country have. It's no way that nobody go monopolize nothing on those type of terms, because everybody understand what goes around comes around. That's like right now, bro. You got the best chips in the world, but you buy your oil to make your chips from me. You buy your seasonings from Miss Cherry, and both of us buy flour from you. Me and Miss Cherry ain't gonna team up to say, hey, both of us gonna say no to Crow about buying this flour so he could drop his flour prices and we can get it for cheaper. They ain't gonna do that, because I don't want you in return to team up with her, so you don't have to get your oil from me. Did I say that right?
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
You know. Um. So what do you, let's go deeper to something, man. I got your attention, Miss Cherry.
Yeah, she got my attention.
Alright. Now I ain't seen this happening majorly. Like it's been happen forever because they didn't always been here. But majorly starting in the '90s to the present. You know, what do you think about it being lesser black owned businesses in black communities?
I
And
mean,
why do you think that
that's
is?
always been like that because we can't get loans.
No,
Like we gotta go through a fight. We gotta go through an arm and a leg to even get a loan.
well, that's
Like
now.
as a business owner, I have literally like every single time that I purchase anything, I have to put down like 10 times because I don't have a job. So it's very difficult to even get anything.
Where I'm from, growing up, it was a whole lot of black businesses. A whole lot of them, especially the corner stores. You know, I remember it was a corner store called Best Way. You go up in there, you get anything you want from cigarettes to sliced meat. They had the deli. They had all that because they was like a
Watch
mini
out, boy.
supermarket for a neighborhood. You know what I mean? And they were pretty much them and Miss Dots. Miss Dots was a store that was in the middle of the hood, and anywhere from 10th Street to
No,
Orange
not
Avenue,
right. Stop.
from
Stop. Come here.
Hunt Avenue. No, I'm gonna say from Rockland, from Grace, from anywhere from Williamson Road over Williamson Road to 10th Street to Orange Avenue. They went to the store. Like a lot of people didn't have extra money or the money it would took to go to Kroger's and make a big grocery order. So the people who was grinding, making it from day to day, the struggle, who making it happen, they was going to the store. And it was a lot of stores like that. And when it came to the mid '90s, early 2000s, a lot of Arabs owned them stores. Those stores was already there. They were making
That's
money. They
enough.
were they were
That
doing
was it. Okay. Okay.
their
Okay. Okay.
thing.
My computer's on the top of the car.
Okay, so my question to
There
y'all
was
is
something
this:
stuck down in there.
do you think
Huh?
that
Me
we
neither.
were greedy and
I reversed up the street,
took the lump sum of money over
and that's
just
it.
making it in the long run?
What's
I
did
think
something
so
get stuck
because
down in
they
there? I
still
don't
do
know.
it now. It's stores I see here that was owned by someone else, or
Hold
maybe a
on.
black person, and then they might have been open since I've been living here 5 years, 4 years, and now they've been bought out by Arabs.
Yeah, it's like and now it's like communities are breaking apart because a lot of places, like those places, were like cornerstones of the community. They were like the glue that kept people together. Then,
Yeah,
not saying nothing against the Arabs because I get along with every Arab here. I love my Arabs,
yeah,
but
me
with
too.
them coming in, they don't have the love for the community like the older stores that were part of the community. The only thing they have the love for is keeping their merchandise to keep revenue up. It ain't like they care if one person in a household don't eat when when you are there in your community and you're living in your community, and while you taking care of them, you build relationships in the community. It's more of a family. This is just my opinion. I could be 100% wrong. I could be driven living in a dreamland. That's just how I feel. You know what you think about that, Crow?
Yeah, I don't have a. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like, man, I have no problems with no race of people, but
Yeah.
I do see. I think if I don't think we have. Only thing they come to us for is music, sports. If you can cook some good ass ribs, you can cut hair real good, something like that. Grass cutting or washing cars. That's the only thing I think people. We don't have products really that other people want from us, and I think that's when the decline started coming. Man, I ain't gonna say it started, but it's been like that. But when people had when we had the mom and pop stores that was owned by us in the community, I think some of the neighborhoods started to get bad as they start listening to negativity from other rappers. They keep that negativity pumped in their head. Then they watch certain movies and shit like that. Then these little mom and pop stores start to get robbed and shit like that. They got tired of that shit, so they sold
Okay, I can see you saying that because I was looking like, yeah, I understand things got bad, but my question is more or less like, if they would have stuck it out and they would have, just rode out, the beginning times when things first started getting bad, um, with how would the community and how would things be? You know what I'm saying?
it. Yeah, yeah.
Like, no, do you get what I'm saying? Like, if they hung in there and went through things like that, it would still be those people with having their stores in the community, boom, 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 and within that time, they kids then grew up and then took over the stores because we grown men now, so the people from when we were younger are probably too old to work or not here no more. So they kids been and took over that. So they've been ahead their own relationships with the community because the same guys that was probably causing problems they grew up with.
Right,
So
right.
they would probably
Yeah,
not have those kind of problems with them if we would have stuck it out, and hung in there like meaning us owning those stores. If we would have stuck it out, do you think it would be still more unity and love in our community? When I say unity, meaning if you look at how back in the day, even in the streets, the guys were doing wrong things, but it was unity within their neighborhoods. They were still taking care of their neighborhoods. They were doing things like that. When nowadays it's more like everybody for everybody. Best friends will turn on best friends and kill them. You know, there's no loyalty no more. And I think that got a lot to do with the community being disbanded the way it was.
yeah. They see when it's just weed, it's okay. But when people start selling drugs, and then I think some of the folks that start selling drugs start to actually do the drugs, and then that's when the game went south. It's like the rules went out the door. Everybody go to this barber shop or hang out at this store, like a community spot, like you say. But it's just like it seems like maybe it's the drugs these people using, the shit they put in their music. It's fucked these kids' minds up, man.
Hey Crow, you acting like the drugs just started recently with these kids. I
No,
remember
it's worse now
I
though.
remember I remember hearing stories of people getting. Cause my daddy owned the pool hall here back in the 70s. I heard stories of people getting robbed for weed. Like back in the 70s. So and then of course coke was here back then, heroin was here back then. The same major drugs. Now you got a lot more pills. Like I ain't even gonna say pills. You got pressed fentanyl pills, and things of that nature. But all the medicine pills that people are taking and getting addicted to now, they've been here since the 70s. You know, maybe a couple new ones then popped up that's a little stronger than the other ones, but drugs done been here from the beginning. I can't blame it on drugs. I think it goes back to like, even the crime rate. Back every year, everywhere, crime has always been crime. It's nothing that's gonna stop crime. You know.
So it's because of like the music, like in the '70s, the music was like soul and funk and disco and shit like that. Then when it got like to the '80s, when you had Ice T coming out with a song called "I'm Your Pusher Man," and then you got all this like Isaac Hayes' last album was talking about fucking dope and drugs. Then it got to the '90s, and then the shit just because they didn't have this type of music. What it did kind of it was getting to it was now. And I think a lot of this stuff, it's like it turned into a ball of negativity. So if you consume this every day and it's all you hear, you know what I'm saying? You don't think that'll affect people?
I can't blame it on the music. I would blame it more on media and social. When I say media, that means the news, all media sources, the news and social media,
Video
because
games.
the the same thing that's going on now been going on since back in the day. Even when you look at the shootings and things now, shit, you look at Al Capone then pull up with a Tommy gun and lay down 20 people. It's been going on since the beginning of time. It's just now more publicized. It's easier to get information about it. Like you might get a notification on your phone, breaking news from the news break app. Breaking news: 10 people killed in a mall shooting. When back in the day, you wouldn't have known about that happen unless it happened in your city and you seen it on the news. Even
Basically,
even looking at the news, you ain't seen nothing that was going on from 3, 4 states across, unless it was national news.
yeah, you're right. We was in the dark then, now we're in the light.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember. I hate to make myself sound old or make anybody else on here sound old, but I remember when the TV went off. You sitting there listening to the TV, then you hear the national anthem. You see that plane going across, then you don't hear nothing but beep. I remember those days. You know,
Yeah.
at that time right there, same thing was going on that's going on now. Like I say, it wouldn't as easy for the news to spread everywhere. That's the only thing that's different between now and then. And with the news spreading everywhere, it's like it has everybody's attention. So the FBI or the president or the governors or the senators, Congress, them hearing about it is easier for them to come together, come up with a bill to fight it, or even the ones who don't even take care of business, who just in it for a check, to use it for a play on the media to get them some clicks. You know what I'm saying? Like you got, and, man, I want to talk about the boy, but I don't wanna do it. But you got people who are now being made martyrs of, who don't even deserve the terminology. They didn't do nothing to deserve the terminology. Like their cause wasn't enough to deserve the terminology. And I believe y'all know who I'm talking about. I just don't want to speak on his name right now.
Yeah.
But they making it seem they using that, making it seem like it was more, because that's what the media can do. You feel me? So if they able to use that, and nobody knew nothing about this person prior. They knew, from news clips, or the racial comments that he made and all this shit. But nobody knew nothing about him prior. And now that happened, and media making him look like a hero. Now he get his own day. and all this and all that. But you know, we gonna save it. We gonna save it for another show, man. We thank y'all for tapping into the man cave, man.